It's well to when you hear baby steps, now your head will be shaking. But thank you very much, my brother. Please, guys, I just want to say this right now for us to all understand how the space has been planned. We have selected some obedience, selected some Nigerians across the country that will start the space with us. Please, and questions. We made a tweet. I think last week we made a tweet last week, and we said if you want to have your questions asked on the platform, we know how today is going to be. As I'm speaking right now, I have 100 requests right now. 100 requests. So we make sure that we say that please have your questions put through the hashtag Peter will be on Power Facts on a thread. And thousands of Nigerians followed that, and we went there and we picked some selected questions that we are going to use to start the space. So please, we're not. I'm saying this because everybody cannot come up here and speak today. It's important we understand this. Everybody cannot ask questions today. It's important we understand this. So and we there's no how I can even start doing nepotism himself and say who and who because the request here is crazy. So please, I'm saying this for everybody to understand that you can ask your questions still on the comment section with the hashtag. If you're listening to us from YouTube, ask your questions on our YouTube comment section. On Facebook, the same thing. Send in your questions that way. And when our selected speakers are done asking their questions, which will form the foundation of this space today, we will open up the space for as many as possible people to come up. He asked me, and I told him, I begged him for 2 hours. I begged him for 2 hours, and he said he's going that 2 hours, 2 hours. I said, yes, sir, 2 hours. Please, you have to give your people 2 hours. And he said he's going to try his best and see if he can give us 2 hours. But we're not going to go above 2 hours except something special happens. So please, guys, I'm saying this so we can understand that not everybody's going to speak today. And I know the insult you guys insulted me the last piece. Please, I don't want to take that insult again. So it's important I say it right now. So please don't insult me at the end of the space. If you didn't get a chance to speak, it's not intentional. It's just because we cannot take everybody on the platform. Thank you very much. All right, I'm just gonna drop all those as spoken right now and bring more people up. Just we need quick reactions. Just quick reactions, 1 2 minutes, and woo, thank you. All right, I think Sarima, good evening. Please, you can unmute and speak. How excited are you about the space today?
Hi everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, last time, it's been 2 months since I joined this whole space because I'm more of like an Instagram girl. So I'm really, really excited. I mean, I've literally been sending the links to all my cousins, all our family on our group chat. I was even trying to get my dad to make a Twitter account because I thought it would just be on Twitter, but then I found out that it was also going to be on YouTube as well and Facebook. So I'm really, really happy for that the fact that you guys actually streaming it across all platforms. So yeah, I'm really excited. I literally can't wait to speak to our president. I mean, it's literally been a long 2 months of renewed shege. I mean, I'm currently in the UK, but I can definitely feel it. I definitely have more, cousins, siblings, family people asking me for money because of that the fact that they can't even afford to travel to get to school, that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's really, really sad, but I think at least people, a lot of people that actually supported Tinubu and were planning to move on initially, I think they're all seeing it now that you know this is not going to favor you and your family. Like, you have to support the right thing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and honestly, I can't wait. And one thing I would say is Peter B is definitely a man of his words. I mean, he said 2 months he'll be back, and exactly 2 months he's here. So, yeah. So thank you so much, you guys, for organizing this space. It's definitely, made me stronger. Because a lot of times there are people who, make you feel like you're crazy for supporting the right thing. But, this space has definitely made me feel as if I'm not alone in this journey. And there are definitely people who are like-minded like myself. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sarima. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you. Please stay strong. We have a country to save, and we will do it all of us together. Thank you. All right, Ido, if you can hear me, please, you have the space in 2 minutes.
Yeah, Saddam, good evening, good morning. It's nice to have you on the space. I'm just super excited right now. I'm here to just enjoy from the School of Politics of Mr. Peter Obi. if there's anything I've learned over the months from this man, is his integrity, his openness, his accessibility is top notch. And I think if we have heard a good leader like him over the years, we shouldn't be where we are currently today, because our leaders, have failed us in time past. They come with different campaign programs, but when it comes to execution, you find it difficult to even perform their tasks. So, but this is a man that he has been so committed to the movement. He has been an inspiration to many young people, not just in Nigeria, even over the world. I think there was a video, is in Syria alone, where the electoral officer, had to tell them to take exemplary leadership from Mr. Peter Obi, because they see him as a man who has, saved the democracy, not just in Nigeria, but in the entire Africa. So I'm here just to listen and, learn from his school of politics. It's just nice to be here. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on real quick. Savik, you have the space, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Saddam. Good evening, everyone on the platform. Honestly, I can't actually relate to how I'm feeling right now, because this is an opportunity we get from empathetic leaders that have you know um, the well-being of the country at heart. And so PO making it another opportunity to be with us, it is something that each and every one of us need to savor, because like Maurice Munye said, it's not all the leaders that we have currently in Nigeria that that have that opportunity to talk to Nigerians. And so when we have this great opportunity to see someone that wants to see Nigeria move forward, that wants to see Nigeria work, let's actually appreciate it. Let's appreciate it, because it is something that we've not seen before. And so I'm excited. I'm excited because this man that we're about to listen to is actually what this time requires. This is actually what Nigeria requires at this moment. A moment where we need an empathetic leader, a visionary leader, someone that is in touch with the people, someone that understands what the people feels, someone that understands the pain of the people, someone that actually can go through this, uncertain road with the people. And so I'm excited. I'm going to be listening to him. Again, I want to thank him for the opportunity given to the young people and indeed every Nigerian around the world to actually learn one or two things from him. I was just kind of pausing to reflect on the birthday wishes that he wished Governor Soludo yesterday. If you look at that you would understand that that's actually the least, you know, um, um, reaction that he got from majority of his tweets. But that goes to tell you how this man sees politics. He plays politics without bitterness. All he just want to see is Nigeria that works for everybody, where everybody has the opportunity to actually make it when you try. And so I thank him for the opportunity given to us again to hear from him and to learn from him again. Thank you, Saddam,
Thank,
for everything that you provide for us for this platform. All the best.
thank you very much, Savik. Thank you, my brother. All right, let me circle to you, my brother. Jimmy, I want you to do it all in 30 seconds. Is it possible? Is
Bro,
it
I
possible,
no go
Jimmy?
take past that one. No worry. And I don't put anchor for my hand and mouth today. No worry. It's gonna be a lovely one. You dey laugh, no worry. We go break bottle after this space, no worry. Also by you too. I dey say now. All right, guys, it's gonna be a lovely one today, as usual. I'm just disappointed that we have over 5,000 people here and it's only 394 retweets. Come on, guys! Already, we are trending as the third worldwide. The first one is Alien Chain, second is Cool, and the third is Obi is coming. We can do this, please, guys. It's gonna be here with us in the next couple of minutes. Please retweet the space. Back to you, Saddam.
You Thank you very much, my brother Jimmy. Thank you so much. I think I told them not to retweet the space actually, so don't blame them. I said we should wait until Peter comes in, then we can do that. All right, let me circle to you, Baron. Baron, please, in 2 minutes, please, you can come up right now because in the next 6 minutes, the space is going to take shape, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Parafa. Thank you, Saddam. Thank you, everyone, for coming to listen to our candidate. I just want to make this announcement before we go to what's happening. And many of us here, we love to hear P2B speak. And I know there are a whole lot of information that he's willing to share with us. And it's an interesting moment. Now, for those of you who are not aware, we have a class action against INEC. If you look at my pinned thread, you will see the information there. It's important because our class action is the first of its kind. Nobody has sued any government agency in the past. And we think it's important not only for us to reclaim our mandate, but to hold INEC responsible for what happened prior to the election, at the time of election, and also to account for the 355 billion taxpayers' money. It's your money as mine. If we leave it all about claiming our mandate, then we are not active citizens. We no longer need activists. What we need is active citizens. Let us come together and begin to hold government agencies to account. It's very important. I'm calling as many as can to join us in this movement. We already have a case in court. As much as we can, people should support us. These things cannot be done by us alone. It's called class action. And if you're dealing with somebody like APC that is in power and INEC, you must try to make it as class as possible, which is the general, propelled by the general public. Thank you, Saddam, once more for giving me this opportunity. I can go back to the listening section and let our president serenade us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Baron. Thank you. Please, guys, please hit up with Baron. Let us get our class action moving. Thank you. All right, please. I have Mr. Najib Bello. You have the space, please, in 1 minute. Mr. Najib, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry for taking time. I was trying to type a tweet. Thank you for having me here. I'm just going to be brief and say I'm happy to be here. This is my first time. But I want to know, how are we sure that the plans that Peter Obi is discussing here and possible policies and execution is not something that the current government will go and copy and fumble those ideas and make it look like Obi doesn't know what he's saying? Because, for instance, look at what they did with fuel subsidy removal. Obi already said he was going to remove fuel subsidy. Atiku said he was going to remove fuel subsidy. But these people took that thing and they fumbled it from the very first day.
My brother, you're
and the
truly
next
new
thing they
to
started
this
telling
platform.
Nigerians was that they started telling Nigerians that, oh, see, even Peter Obi said he was going to do this same thing, which was a lie. It wasn't the same thing he was going to do. So how are we sure that if we open up these spaces and Peter Obi is talking about his plans and his ideas and policies, these people won't take those plans, policies, and ideas and go and mis-execute them and say, is it not the same thing this man said he was going to do, we are doing?
Don't
We
worry.
have a
Thank you,
simple
Mr.
strategy
Najib.
here, Najib.
Thank
We
you.
have a simple strategy here.
All
We
right.
do not discuss strategy on this platform. So have no fear of any of that happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Najib. Another thing I say is, well, you can always copy an idea, but if you don't have the brain to execute it, you will always show. So that's not even a problem for us. Let them copy it. Nigerians will always see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my concern with people copying your idea and fumbling it is that the general public may begin to doubt that idea was any good at all, because I've seen so many videos were shared when they messed up the whole fuel subsidy removal. The next thing they did was they started publishing videos where Peter Obi said he would remove.
Najib, let me help you. Probably when Peter comes up today, of which he's already up here on the platform with us, he's going to explain to you the difference between original and photocopy. I think he will do that better for you. So just calm down, and I think.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, guys. Right about now, before let me do something special. Let me do something special. I think it's important we do this. Thank you guys, every single one of you, for joining us. All right, Jimmy, hit us that, please. Go on, Jimmy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the Parallel Fact Space with Peter Obi live tonight. You are all welcome. It's going to be an amazing long space. Thank you so much for joining us today. If it's your first time of joining us, you're welcome. It's our second episode with Mr. Peter, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, live on the platform with us today. If you're listening to us from any of our streaming platforms, is it YouTube, is it Facebook, is it the Violence Peace radio station? You are welcome to join in this conversation today. Thank you for us sticking with us today. Please, I want to indulge all of you on the platform. It is now time to hit your retweet buttons, to hit your like buttons, to share the space. Let everybody, let the whole world know that Mr. Peter Gregory Obi is live on Parallel Fact Space today. And if you're excited, as I'm excited to have him on the platform, please can you bless this space with a whole lot of love emojis? Let him see how much Nigerians are waiting to speak to him. Please let me see some emojis up in the building right now. Thank you. Where are those emojis? Get those emojis up, please. And I want to indulge every single one of you on the platform. Please, if you I will ask all of you. We have over 100 speakers right now. I'm asking for the mic. Ask questions, and when they're done asking their questions, we are going to open up the space for every other person to come up and ask questions. We want this space to be well planned out. Please, it is important to understand this. So if you don't get to come up right now and speak, do not worry yourself. Do not don't shake. We're going to have everybody come up here to speak. But if your hands are too busy, if you're so impatient like I can be, please and please, you can hit the comment section and write your questions down using the hashtag Peter Obi on Parallel Facts. Only questions with the hashtag Peter Obi on Parallel Facts will be asked on the platform today. So it's important we set these ground rules for everybody to understand what we're doing today. Thank you to every single one of you that are up here on the platform. I have, before I jump into the space, this is Parallel Fact. It's an independent news media, a new media out there that is just for real news. We're all about giving Nigerians and the world in general real, verified news. And it has been born out of the desperation of bad news, bad reportage, bad journalism in the country, whereby fake news had become an in thing, and we had to step in and say Nigerians needed an alternative platform whereby they can hear real news as it breaks. So we are a new platform. Please, we need all your support. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Telegram. We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook. We are everywhere you go. So please hit the like button, share the space. Let's get people into the building today. Mr. Gregory, Peter Obi is live with us. My happy point right now is that for so long we have been a people whereby we are easy to please in Nigeria. We are very, very easy to please. I say we are the easiest people to please in the world. You just build a 1 kilometer road and they're already hailing you. You put street lights as a politician and people are already praising you. You don't even we can witness 8 years of a government whereby not for once did we have a press briefing from the presidency to talk to the people. We did not see that for 8 years, and Nigerians were satisfied with that. And we are seeing right now a new breed of politics whereby a man has brought out himself and said, I want to talk to Nigerians. I want us to have a new country. I want us to run it this way. And he has made himself available. Despite his busy schedule, he is here with us today. He came here 2 months ago, and on the space, he said something, and I was like, are you sure, sir? He said, well, let's make this a bi-monthly event. I will be back here with you guys 2 months from now. And I was thinking, normal Nigerian politicians, let's just do this one and run away, and probably I will come back or I might not come back. And I was saying, am I sure this man is going to come back? I was thinking, but, and he's here. He reached out and said, Saddam, we are coming back for that space. Are you ready for us? I said, sir, we are ready for you. Nigerians are ready for you. We have seen and witnessed 60 days of renewed something. I can't even call the other part of it, but you understand what I'm saying. Nigerians have seen it. We are in it. We're in it for and it's something else. I don't even know what to say. But sir, on the platform right now, we have a diverse pool of Nigerians from across the country, from the south to the east to the west to the north. Everywhere is amply represented on the platform right now. We get everybody up here, and they'll be asking you questions. And with me to do this space today is my brothers. You all know David Hundeyi. As long as you're in Nigerian and you're not living under the rock, and even if you're living under the rock, you must know David Hundeyi. You know David Hundeyi. We all know David Hundeyi. David Hundeyi is going to be co-hosting this space with me. They call me Emir Saddam. My brother M6 is going to be doing this with me also, a radio host with a whole lot of years of experience. My brother Ibrahim Abdul Karim is also going to be co-hosting this space with me today. My brother Tumba is going to be co-hosting this space with me today. I have Mommy Bolanle here up with me. Mary White is here with me. Miss Barriat is with me. Jimmy, my warrior, is here with me. My FBI is here with me. Well-Me Nigeria is here with me. It's going to be an amazing space. I promise you guys, please just sit back, relax, grab yourself some soda, water, whatever you like to drink, and some popcorn, because as usual, Mr. Peter Obi is going to cook today. This is a Gen Z platform. This is a millennial mixed with Gen Z and some boomers. We have all of them here. We're amply represented. So we are going to be hearing some terms that you're not familiarized with. But please bear with us. Thank you, guys. I see we have over 13,000 people already on the platform, and this is just 7 minutes into the show. Please, I want every one of you on the platform. Go and call your mommy, call your daddies, call your friends, your relatives. Let the whole world know that Mr. Peter Obi is here and he wants to speak with Nigerians, and he's going to speak with Nigerians. The last space we did was a record. I think we can do more better today. Please, everybody, hit your phones up, get your people out, let them join this conversation. If they're not on Twitter, we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. We are streaming this space across the Violence Radio station also. So we are everywhere. There is no hiding place today. This information has to go out. So please, I indulge every one of you. I should be seeing over 10,000 retweets on this space. If you're here for Peter Obi, I don't think you should just be listening to us speak. You should be retweeting the space as we're speaking right now. Every single one of you on the platform. Peter will not unmute his mic and speak until I get at least 5,000 retweets on this space. That's how I'm going to run this space right now. If I don't see 5,000 retweets, Oga will stay here, and when his time elapses, he will go back and chill with Madame. That's how we'll run this space today. So if you want to hear Peter Obi speak, hit the retweet buttons, share the space. If not, I will tell him, sir, please, they're not ready for you to speak. I will just be talking with my brothers up here. And at the end of that, we will pass the mic. So I'm going to pass the mic right now to my brothers to have their brief introductions, and we will circle back if you guys are ready. Because if I don't see 5,000 retweets, I know you guys are not ready. Then we'll circle back to ourselves again, probably. All right, David Hundeyi, I want you to come in right now and set the tone for the conversation. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening, Saddam. Good evening to everyone on the panel, N6, Ibrahim, Jimmy, Bolanle, Otumba, and all the others. And good evening to His Excellency. I think that's the first time I'm actually using that term. I usually just refer to him as Mr. President. So this hopefully is going to be we're very happy that this time around there weren't that many technical hitches in getting him to join. I remember the last time it took almost an hour for us to successfully get him into the space. So thankfully that isn't the case now. So thankfully within the 2 hours we've said, we'll be able to achieve everything that we want to achieve today. So I'm just going to go straight into the question and answer section. So I'm going to pass the mic so that when it's time for that, then we can get started. I'm not really one for sort of like, talking around the points in the interim. So I'm going to pass it across to N6 now so he can introduce himself and then hopefully we can get started.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is N6, and it's a pleasure doing this with all of you again. Peter Obi is proof that your moral compass is screwed on properly. In Nigeria, we are currently in a battle of light versus darkness. It's gone beyond politics. In a nation where a governor will get up and say, I will never be a minister. In a nation where politicians lie, we have a man who tells you, I will be with you a month or two from now. And that is what we are currently doing. It feels refreshing to have a Nigerian politician that you can beat your chest and take his words to the bank and they will be worth cash. Peter Obi is the future of this country. He might not be our best politician. I keep telling you people, he's not perfect. He might not be our best politician. He might not be the most eloquent. He might not be the sexiest. He might not have beer. He might not be light-skinned. He might not have six-pack. But at least he is a stepping stone to a greater Nigeria. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much for making us believe in Nigeria again. Thank you for being a man who keeps his word. And thank you for being here. It's going to be a fabulous day. Please, one more time, remember, don't waste your time here requesting. You are more powerful commenting in the comment box. We are going to be reading and compiling a lot of those questions. So if you don't get the opportunity to speak, trust me when I tell you your thoughts and opinions still matter for this show today. God bless you all. God bless Nigeria. I love you all. Let's have an interesting show. And please retweet this show. The last time Peter Obi was here, I think we were the 7th greatest Twitter space in the world. And I think today, Elon Musk suppose no say he get waiting they happen for Nigeria. I love you all. Let's have an interesting show.
All right, thank you very much, N6. Please, Barry, please sort your audio out, please. Thank you very much. All right, guys, let's move on right now. I think, let me see how many retweets. If not, I will just... Okay, I've done halfway gone. We have over 17,000 of you. Those of you just joining us right now, please retweet the space, share the space. Let people know that our excellency is up on the platform. Mr. Peter Obi is here, and I will do him the honors. I don't keep to my own words. But if I keep to my words, I will not start this space till I get 5,000 retweets. So I'm not going to keep to my words. I'm just going to start the space right now. Mr. Peter Obi, good evening, sir. Your Excellency, it is a pleasure to have you on the platform today. Thank you very much for keeping to your words. Thank you so much. Before I bring you in, sir, let me allow Ibrahim and Otumba do some favor to us and brief introductions, please. Ibrahim, you have the space, please. Good evening.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. I'm speaking from Kaduna. I'm born in Sokoto, a Muslim. Just to make people that are listening to us to understand why we are here. We are not here based on tribe. We are not here based on anything. And I've been telling a lot of people, it's when you go close to Mr. Peter Obi, you understand the kind of person he is and what he's bringing to this country. And a lot of people have been brainwashed, more especially up here in the north. They try to portray him who he is not, and they try to. But it's our own duty, at least they can see. Some of them are here. Some are for having a news outlet, And I hope they will do justice to us, at least to report what they are hearing from the man himself, and also to make people, most especially in the up in the north here, to understand it's not about anything. It's for us to create a Nigeria that work for everyone, not just work for the few. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you very much, my brother. An amazing person you are. Thank you for the work you do also. Thank you. All right, let me circle now to your Tumba. Then we will start the space appropriately. These are the 5 hosts for today. Yes, Otumba, if you're not busy, you have the space right now. Good evening.
My brother, good evening. I cannot be busy. Good evening, good afternoon to everyone from my side. I'm popularly called Otumba, indigenous of Osun State, born and raised in Lagos, so representing the Southwest region. Currently residing in Houston, Texas. I'm so excited. It's a privilege and honor. I think I remember meeting you in Houston during the campaign period. You made me really believe in Nigeria, and I'm forever grateful for that. So I look forward to hearing your insights on, especially economics and security. So glad to have you here. Thank you. Back to you, Saddam.
All right, thank you very much, Otumba. Thank you very much. I think these are my five co-hosts for today. I think I should allow all my moderating speakers have a minute to just do a brief introduction of themselves, and we will circle to you, Mr. P2B. Let's take our ladies first now. Mombolale, good evening. How are you doing today?
Good evening, Saddam. I'm doing very well, thank you. Your Excellency, welcome to the space. My name is Bolanle Emia Bata of the Anibaba family of Lagos State. I'm so honored to be here with you today. I yield.
All right, thank you very much, Mombolale. Thank you very much. All right, let's circle back to you right now. My warrior himself, Jimmy, how are you doing today? Good evening.
I'm fine, Saddam. Once again, good day to you, everyone. Your Excellency, you're welcome to the space. My name is Jimmy. Yoruba from Ibadan, and I'm currently based in Chicago, Illinois, right now. Nice to have you in the space. The last experience was splendid, and I'm definitely certain today is going to be excellent as well. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. Are you back to you, Saddam?
Thank you very much, my brother Jimmy. Thank you. Okay, let me circle to you right now, Mrs. Mary White. Good evening. You have the space.
Hi, Dewusa. My name is Mary White. I'm really excited to have you on the space today. I can't really wait to hear your voice. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. That was brief. Let's go right now to well-meaning Nigeria. As the name sounds, well-meaning Nigeria. You have the space, my brother. Good evening.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Saddam. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Your Excellency. I'm popularly known around here as well, meaning Nigeria. I think some people now call me Osaiti Obemudia for some reason. I'm from Edo State, popularly known as the headquarters of the Obedient Movement, like they call it. So thank you for coming. Thank you for keeping to your promise. I believe we'll have a very great space. Thank you very much, Saddam.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Okay, let me end this part of the space by introducing my sister, Miss Barriat. You have the space. Good evening.
Good evening, Saddam. Good evening, Mr. Peter Obi. Thank you for being with us. My name is Maureen Barriat Kabruk. I am a daughter of Southern Kaduna, and I am a proud Nigerian, and I am proud to have you here speak to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nigeria. This is Nigeria on the platform right now, sir. We have everyone across the country up here trying to have a good time and listen to you speak. We're about to get the space started right now. Thank you, every one of you that are already using the space, sharing the space. We have 18K of us on the platform. We can do better. Let's get our numbers up, my people. Let's get our numbers up, because as I'm speaking right now, I am going to yield the mic right now to Mr. Peter Obi himself. Good evening, sir. Please, if you can reintroduce yourself.
The conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. That is what we know you for. Mr. Peter Obi, you have the space. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Well, good evening. I hope you can hear me very well.
Loud and clear, sir. Go on.
Good evening, Saddam, my brother David, M6, Ibrahim, I have a lot of brothers there. Ibrahim Otumba, all of you, Bolanle, Jimmy, Mary White, well-meaning Nigeria brand. Let me say I'm sincerely grateful to be part of this again. As I said before, this will be every other month. When I was campaigning, I maintained that if I'm elected, I'll speak to Nigerians at least every month, where I will spend 2 to 3 hours to take questions, to be able to explain to Nigerians what we are doing, and make our time to listen to different segments by touring all over Nigeria to listen to them, because for me, governance is demand-driven. The people must say what they want. You must listen to them. So I'm sincerely grateful to be part of this, and I assure you, I will try to learn more from you than telling you more. It is about a learning process. The job of a leader is to learn, and then use what is learned to serve the people faithfully. I will explain 1 or 2 things, and I will listen to you. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure having you on the platform. As you're learning from us, we are also learning from you, and we're tapping from your wisdom also and your humility. You're an amazing person. God bless you for all you do for the country and the sacrifices you've brought yourself out in a time like this. To get the whole space started, I want to set the ball rolling and get the conversation started. I would love to personally ask you a question before I pass the mic on to my brothers to start this question and answer session with you. Nigerians, please, if you have questions for Mr. Peter Obi, please, it is important you put your questions in writing in the comment section using the hashtag Peter Obi on Parallel Facts. This space is brought to you by Parallel Facts Media. Please, it is important you put your questions using the hashtag Peter Obi on Parallel Facts. Sir, I want to ask you a question. Let's get this started. Thank you one more time for keeping to your words, because it is a word, it is an unknown thing for Nigerian politicians. But let's start this way. We have seen in this current, albeit temporal administration, the increase in hardship in the lives of Nigerians due to the immediate implemented policies of the current administration. Sir, they have come out to tell Nigerians that these are baby steps and much needed sacrifices that we, the people, have to pass through. But you see, we have not seen these men take any steps themselves. You know, the political class, they have not cut down their excessive spending and their luxurious lifestyle. We saw the Senate president, drive, and he made a mini video, some short video clip for Nigerians showing himself driving executive cars, coming out from his, stepping into his office. We saw the Senate also recently pass a $800 million World Bank loan and a 500 billion naira fuel subsidy palliative. They shared that money, 70 billion to 500 of them. They gave that 5 billion to the judiciary, and they said 8,000 naira should go to 12 million Nigerian families. There was a backlash by Nigerians, and they had a backtrack on their decision. I don't know what they're doing with the money right now. But my question to you is this. They have told Nigerians to sacrifice, and Nigerians are sacrificing. You can see the hardship. You can see Nigerians trekking across the country. You can see, evidently, we online, we see the hardship. We see what Nigerians are passing through. I want you to tell Nigerians what you would have done differently if you had the opportunity of having 500 billion naira and 800 million loan from the World Bank. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for your comments. I wouldn't say it's all the question is a comment and what I would have done differently and everything. If you go back to my tweets of 19th of September 2022, I did mention the problems of the country and the way to approach it. In the country called Nigeria, we have a few problems which has to be religiously and simultaneously followed simultaneously. When I mean simultaneously, none will be left to the other and everything. The number one problem we have here is corruption. I keep repeating it. Corruption kills three things that makes a country. It kills entrepreneurship. Nobody is enterprising in a corrupt country. Thereby, there's no creativity, no introduction of any new thing, no. Corruption kills professionalism. It kills hard work. Because what it does is that it allows people to have wealth without enterprise. And when you have wealth without enterprise, you kill the entire system. So that's number one problem. Our number two problem is cost of governance. Totally unaccepted. Number three is what I said about subsidy is a criminal setup. And of course, number four, you have issue of foreign exchange, the value of Naira, which again can be done with productivity. These are economic things, economic issues. In economic issues, you think every one and each of them through before you start any form of policy formulation and implementation. And if you follow these four things that I said simultaneously, you can start solving the problem. And it is not that Nigerians are not going to go through hardship. They're going to go through hardship and difficulties, but it won't be as it is today. What we have today is a question of what I said. We are still trapped in the process and thinking of yesterday. And if you're trapped in that process, you will not meet tomorrow. For example, number one issue is corruption. If the key people, all of us politicians, decide we'll end it, starting from the number one person. If you're not involved, those around you are not involved, you reduce it by 50%. And I'm not talking about chasing people who have stolen in the past. I'm talking that will be dealt with in separate note, but saying that forthwith from today, nobody will continue on that path. We will ensure that all the revenues of this country are accounted, they're transparently held, and will judiciously utilized. Number two is to deal with the issue of cost of governance. I was just talking with somebody yesterday who was able to convince me, because they had an argument. When I finish, you know what I convinced me. But he had an argument which some people supported at an airport while we were waiting for flight at Asaba Airport. Was able to tell me how it is not huge a cost for states to own plane, states, governors to fly private jets, people in government to do the same and everything. And when he finished, I asked him a simple question. What is the GDP of Nigeria? And he said it's about $400, $500 billion. I said, what is per capita of Nigeria? Per capita of Nigeria. It is important that we know this. He said the same thing. I said the per capita is about 2,000. I said, fine. So you have a GDP of 400 billion. That is your entire country. And a component of that country, some people are qualified to fly private jet and do this. I said, okay, we have borrowed this democracy from United States of America. So it's good to go back there and see how it works, just to learn a little bit. I said, are you aware that there's a state in America called California? He said, yes. I said, that state in America is about 3.6 trillion GDP. So if you're 400, there are 9 times your size. He was looking at me and said, there are 3 times your size. He said, well, we're not talking about America. I said, no. There are 9 times your size. And that state have a per capita that is about, call it 30 times minimum. I know per capita in America, of California, is about $60,000-$70,000. So I said they have about 30 times your per capita. And I can tell that if governor of California decides to go to Washington and he charter and he goes into goes with a private jet, he will not land in Washington before he or she is removed from office. He does not have a lodge in Washington. He stays in a hotel. And he cannot stay in a hotel where he will pay $2,000 a night. He will not wake up in the morning before they remove him. That man or woman will not be seen in streets of LA with 10 vehicle convoy. He will go the next day. So sometimes the things you see. So these are things we need to deal with. And then subsidy. Asset is a criminal setup. And I thank Governor Issa Yaguna, who came out recently to say that somebody, a friend of his, came to him and said he's tired of making money from this. My dear people, you know what it means for somebody to say, I don't want to continue this style of making money. That this subsidy is a crime. And we must stop this crime. I think if I was in government, I would have invited Issa, my brother, and kneel down and beg him to introduce this fellow to me. Because I need him as a friend. I haven't repented to help me in dealing with this. It is this criminal component of it. If you look at my tweet, first I was able to show that the quantity they say we consume is twice what we are supposed to consume. And I gave instance, compared it with a country, Pakistan. Similar population, have more road network, than we have. I don't know whether they have more car or not, but they use half or less of what we consume. So that's where you will start. That's why if you look at my tweet, I said, I will reduce 50% of what we already pay for the subsidy. Having reduced that, you try to remove the criminal component of it. By the time we finish with all this, you will see in a clear, verifiable figures what is the actual subsidy we're paying, which at this time, having removed the corruption, having removed the criminality, will be far less than what we were paying. You now say, I'm going to take away component of this. In the meantime, I said, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to take away component of this in the meantime. So this fuel is now, say, 190. We're not going to have it at 350 or thereabout, or 400, as the case may be. And this again, further, this is what we are going to save. This is a new thing you're trying to do. You must be transparent, open. People must see it. They must feel it. We are going to save this. And whatever we save, we are going to apply it in critical areas of development. And these are as follows: education, health, pulling people out of poverty, resuscitating our infrastructure. And we're going to have it for this period. So we have moved from where we are to this new place. It's going to be difficult, but remember that we all said we are going to sacrifice. Because we have now tamed corruption, because we have now removed the wastages in governance, and people are seeing it, and you are now coming into trying to manage this subsidy situation, there's more variable facts. So, like we said in the first 1 month, we've saved 400 billion. What did we do with it? Where did we take it to? Are we going to say, okay, 8 months, because they say we are owing them 1.1 billion or 1.1 billion? Okay, in 2 months from our savings, I'm going to clear that.
All right. So
Are we going to say?
I would like to make it in a way that you don't touch on education, because we have people that have questions for you on education.
I'm not touching education. I'm just giving you an example. I'm just going to say where you're going to play, because you must tell us what we saved, what is going to go. Are we going to say the most important where we get this money we share is a place like Niger Delta? They have one critical road, East-West Road. The last time I checked, we need about 300 to 400 billion to complete it. This is our saving. We are throwing it into East-West Road, so these people can see it. These are things we need to do. These are the different things we need to do. Saddam have governed the state. It was difficult. But what I told the people is that this must be demand-driven. Whatever you think Peter is not doing, or where he's saving the money or taking money, it must be applied to where you see it visibly. And the moment the people started seeing it, even politicians on the other side, started working with me. So, thank you.
All right,
That's my initial introduction.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's move on real quick. I think David fell off. David, if you're on the space, please. I don't know if you can. I can't see you. I think I saw you and you disappeared. So I think I'll come to N6 right now. N6, you have the space, please. You can go on with your question.
All right, sir. Good evening, Your Excellency. You're one of the few Nigerian politicians who answers Your Excellency, and in all your doings, you have remained excellent. My question has to do with education. With all the problems Nigerians are going through, about a week ago, we saw an increase in school fees nationwide at all tiers. Increase in Unilag school fees, increase in school fees for Unity schools, secondary schools. As a governor, one of your biggest milestones was in education. It's one of the proudest legacies you left behind as well. How would you have handled the Nigerian educational system, this rise in school fees prices, and just, if you can answer this in 5 minutes, I won't mind. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very quickly, my brother, as a country, we have universal basic education. That means that the primary up to year 9 is free. The basic education. I've always argued that it should be primary and secondary school. For me, that's what it should be. Should be free. As you know, the most important yardstick, tool, critical, whatever I call it, measure of development today is education. The more educated you are, the more developed you are. The only difference between developing, and underdeveloped countries is education. That is the measure. Because people look at your human capital, which today you could see we are in the lower, we're one of the worst. People look at it. What you're doing in education, you're funding everything. So for me, when I mention issue of savings from subsidy, after you've done the right things to make sure that it's not where we are today, your investment should be in that critical area of development, especially in the north. But it's all over Nigeria. You need to invest aggressively in education, in health, and in pulling people out of poverty. But starting with education. So for me, the basic education, which is primary and secondary school education, will be free. I will work with the states to fund it aggressively. We did it as governors, and what we did is to say, it doesn't matter to me whether it's private, private, public, owned by agencies and anything, we are going to support it aggressively. And that is what we need to take back. Encourage those in private, encourage them, just do whatever everybody is doing all over the world. How much do we spend per child? It is critical, it's important. On the tertiary, especially university, yes, I said we have to have different models, which we must do. The government must state, this is our contribution, which will be very clear annually to support university education and going to universities based on their population. Thereafter, there will be another component which must come because corporations today need those human products as part of their own production system. There will be those taxes you're collecting for education must go into supporting tertiary education. And then you now come with the component which you mentioned, issue of loan. It won't come in straight away. So initially, you have to bear this cost until you're able to have a properly articulated loan procedure, which will allow students in some areas, because it's not in every area, when you start, in some area, to have access to this loan, because you're sure when they leave school, they will be able to get a job that allows them to pay for this. With all this combination, you're going to have a better educational system, a quality educational system, because you're not going to have a situation where teachers are going to be trained, the right equipment for teaching at the primary distance, then at university level, lecturers, everything, they can hire and do this and all that. Not a situation where I can tell you some of the people who are giving job in various universities in Nigeria in the past 2 years have not been paid anything. And they're lecturers. Imagine how they're lecturing. Imagine how they're living. These are things when we talk about saving money or saving costs of governance, where you're going to channel them to.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very
All right.
much for answering my question, sir. Thank you.
All right. As we await David to come back, I think we'll just move on right now to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, if you can hear me, please unmute your mic and speak. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sadem. Thank you, Your Excellency, for being here with us. I'm from the north. I can say my question directly going to go on agric because that's what I think will be one of the most commitments that you are going to give to the northern part of the country. And you have cited a lot of examples to us when you are doing your campaign about the issue. But in the economic aspect of it, I found it very difficult to comprehend and understand what really happened to the country. For example, we have different programs done by the previous government, and also this government has declared state of emergency on food production. And my worry is just that before they said we don't have fertilizer blending companies, they are just like 3 or 5, and they have like 50. But the cost of food in the market is still high. So I want to relate what is the input government putting into the system, and also food is getting more expensive. Let me give you another example. We have more, what they call them, rice millers now, in almost getting in hundreds of them. Which one of the rice miller, as you said, you are part of the people that helped him to develop. And then this government, the previous government of APC, put a lot of money into it. So my worry is that rice is still very expensive. It's not affordable to the young guys. It costs almost about 43,000 naira per bag. Fertilizer is costing about 30,000 naira per bag. And the insecurity in the northern part of the country, if you can see Zamfara and other places, people have to pay tax for them to do their to go to their farm. And another thing that is scaring us is that the more in these villages bring out this produce to the city is by transport. And this subsidy issue is so affecting the rice issue. So with all this, the word that Saddam don't want us to put, the renew, whatever that we used to call it, which everybody is feeling today. So my question is directly to you, sir. Help us to understand the economics. If it happens that you become the president in the next 2 or 3 months, what will you do different so that at least this rising cost of food would at least go down for Nigerians to benefit from being a Nigerian that have a very wide and very big, fertile land for us to do agriculture? How do we get this food? Because food is the main security that we can have. Because even the education, everything, we need to get food.
Well, thank you, Ibrahim. Ibrahim, I've said a lot about the issue of agriculture and issue of implementation of various policies, projects, various schemes of the past. What we're experiencing is poor implementation of those schemes. They were not properly executed. They were not properly channeled where they should go. They've all become transactional schemes, transactional policies that went into the same tunnel of corruption. So in the end, they actually, instead of helping to ameliorate the situation, worsened it. The North, I've said, is going through a major problem today that is bordered on poverty, mass poverty. And if you want to solve that problem, you have to pull people out of poverty, and agriculture is #1 item to solve that problem, because there are vast uncultivated land that we need to cultivate. Nigeria can make more money from agriculture, can earn more from export billions of dollars from agriculture that the president earns from oil. And I've given several examples, which I don't need to go back into. Because you've seen me, Brian, you followed me everywhere where I say that Niger State alone is 2.5 times the size of Netherlands. And if Netherlands can do export of agricultural products in 1 year of over $120 billion, which is about 6 times what Nigeria earns from oil, Nigeria can do more. We can earn more from it. And we will be able to do today in Dubai, small space, the same holidays that call it anything, they are now doing quite a number of agricultural products. We have massive uncultivated land in Boronu, 70,000 square kilometers, which again is about not exactly, but about 2.5 times the size of Netherlands. So we have opportunities that are there. And to pull people out of poverty is to invest in this land. But you have to do it through the right channel. You have to do it properly. It has to be through verifiable and means people can see. Governance is a very simple thing. If we said, you talk about having more rice mills, having more this and everything. For example, Ibrahim, I will show you how anchor borrowers program have been implemented in other countries. I show you how growers have implemented in other countries. Who did we give money for the art growers? How did we channel the funding for it? The rice millers, are they the ones we are funding in order to fund properly those who are going to supply them inputs? So if it's a rice mill, are we supporting the big miller to be able to support those who are going to support in paddy to be able to give us the rice? Who are we dealing with? And what are we trying to achieve? I said in economic program, you must think it through. We can change all that and do it properly. When it's transparently implemented, it will work. It is not something we need to go far to find, whether it's the fertilizer or anything. All these are not coming down, Ibrahim, because it's based on transaction. Otherwise, it will be cheaper, it will be competitive, because labor is cheaper. First is that, how are we doing it? Ibrahim, we have a Bank of Agriculture, domiciled in Kaduna. And this is being implemented to the Bank of Agriculture. Who are the beneficiaries of this loan? Are they farmers? Are they politicians? These are questions. Who are those who are involved? I have seen this. I've seen people, even in my own state, when we came in, there was a standing agricultural loan. When we tried to recover it, none of the loans went to farmers. The funds ended up in hands of politicians. It must be proper. It must go directly to those who need it, and it must be followed up to ensure that we're getting value for that. If we do it, the prices will come down. We'll use it to pull people out of poverty. We will do more. Ibrahim, you know we've been to, and I'm sure you can still do it today, go to prisons and see those who are involved with kidnap and killings. They will tell you how much they are paid for an operation. It is 30, 40, 50,000. Which means if they have something they're doing that can give them that amount every month, that's it. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce the criminality. This needs to be properly implemented. This must be preached. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I think it's only justice I pass the mic right now to a lady, Miss Barriat, and our first female question of the day. Miss Barriat, if you can hear me, you have the space. Good evening.
Hi, Saddam. Can you hear me?
Loud.
Perfectly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go on, please.
Perfectly. Continue.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Ms. Barrias, we can hear you.
So, good evening, Your Excellency.
Okay, Saddam, she might need to log out and come back
as I
again.
always refer to you as my president. So, as I am here, I am speaking to my president, and I believe every other person listening knows that we are listening to our president speak to us, the man we know we voted for on the 25th of February. Here is my question, sir, just to follow up on what Ibrahim Abdul Karim has already asked you. I am a trader, just as you always introduce yourself. I am in the agricultural sector. I trade in fruits and veggies. And one of the biggest complaints that a lot of the farmers right now, always talk about has to do with logistics and multiple taxes that they face from the farms to the market. So my question to you, Your Excellency, my president, our president, how would you handle the issues relating to the logistics involved in transporting food from farms to around the infrastructures and the multiple taxation that these drivers and farmers face from to the market? Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, my sister, for that question. I know Ibrahim mentioned it. First, let me start by answering it, since that at times I just get, how did we arrive here? If the colonial masters was able to build a rail in the 60s to make sure that they transport the food from the north, Kanu, everywhere in the north, to the south and to export. What has changed today? These are 60s. I went to southern Kaduna and I saw rail in Kafanchan. Somebody said to me from Kafanchan, they used to load agricultural products that go to Lagos. If that happened in the 60s, why can't we do it today? On the issue of multiple taxation, all those, again, is bordered on corruption and transaction, which when you are determined to eliminate it, will be able. Where are the corporations which government can support and be able to get, by the time you have proper support that are channeled in the right direction? A Bank of Agriculture is in the north supporting all this. Where there's stringent rules that nobody can play with, you get it solved. And then because you're interfacing with these farmers like you, because like I said, it's a learning process too. Because the government is determined to do it, they will listen to the farmers. Yes, there's issues of insecurity. Ibrahim mentioned the farmers can't go to farm. Yes, that is number one job of government, to secure the people. So if you're determined to do all this, we've spent enough money in security. I do not see how non-governmental actors will be more active, more daring than government. It is because what we spend in dealing with insecurity are also somehow immersed in this transactional life. You just criminalize the place. So this is time to do things now differently, involving all levels of government, from the community level to local government level to state level to national level, with clear mandates, clear implementation plan, that at any time there's a problem, all those involved will be dealt with. If you do that, you see it differently. When we lend money to farmers, it will shock you. Jenny farmers in Anambra State, we were able, apart from flooding, which occurred a particular year, to recover about 70%. Flooding came and worsened it. When we lent the proper farmers, we were able to see increased production, and we visited them. So it's not just me sitting down in Oka saying, we're giving money to farmers who came to Oka. No. We went to their local government, went to their villages, we went to see everything. So when they had flooding, we were able to intervene to even save those who had loans from other areas, because we could see what they're doing. And again, to build the proper infrastructure that gives them access to the markets. And all these are doable if we're determined to do the right thing.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Ibrahim, you say you want to have a follow-up question on agriculture real quick?
Another follow-up question is just for me to testify to what Apple Hetty is saying. For example, in Kaduna and also in Sokoto, I've seen these roads. They call them the agriculture. It's a fund for in the agriculture department in the Ministry of Agri to develop rural roads. But in my area, for example, in Sokoto, I think Locust Guiwa, I have seen a project given to one of the directors stayed around that place, and they built the road. As I talked to you today, anyone that is in Kaduna, if you know the house of the immediate former agri minister, if you go there, you will see the road being done with that kind of fund. So I think what Mr. Pio is saying is really true. Most of these funds end up in the pocket of politicians because they are not doing the right thing. So money and system and document has been designed to help Nigerians to make sure that this food has become a little bit cheaper, but because this money end up in the pocket of people. This is just the intervention I just want to give. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you. I think Otumba, you're meant to come in now with your questions. I don't know if you're ready.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you, Your Excellency, sir. My question is still on the economy. Given the economic downturn, we're seeing multinational companies report massive losses. From Cadbury, I think they had 20 billion in losses. MTN, 131 billion in losses. The NGX, 232 billion. Nigerian Breweries, 71 billion. Guinness Nigeria, 18 billion. Airtel is, I think they reported about $151 million in losses. And a lot of this is attributed to the floating of the Naira. We've seen the dollar, we see the Naira weaken against the dollar. We've seen Naira weaken against the British pounds. If you were in charge of the economy, which we hopefully you will be soon, what economic policies would you help implement around the floating of the Naira? And also to reduce, these losses? Because as just an ordinary person, seeing these losses to me translates to budget cuts for those companies, which translates to either layoffs, massive layoffs, or reduction in employment opportunities for Nigerians that work in those companies. So, what will you do around the floating of the Naira? Thank you.
My brother, let me tell you, if you look at my tweets about the issue of Naira exchange, I mentioned it in that tweet I mentioned about 19th of September last year. First is that what you have that is affecting your Naira value is the value of your reserve. And what drives your reserve is export earning. And what drives the export earning is production. Because your sources of revenue, as far as foreign exchange is concerned, is oil, which most of it is stolen. You have no agriculture. you're not exporting enough, your factories are not producing enough for export, you have difficulty in dealing with the issue of earning dollars that would have increased your reserve and helped to stabilize and reduce your rate of exchange. What we have recently is every country in the world, I can tell you, manages the rates of its exchange. Yes, they will tell you you can float it, but you can't float without knowing or managing your supply. You can't float what you don't have. I believe that the rate of exchange Naira was overvalued. For me, the first step would have been to do the things I won't say here that I would have done to be able to get some funding that would have allowed you first devalue the currency, because it's overvalued where you have a situation where you have 450 official rate and almost 750 as parallel market rate, which was allowing all sorts of things. If we had moved from 450 to about 600 or thereabout, and be able to still manage it by getting enough money to meet up existing obligations. Corporations and people will lose money, but not meeting those existing obligations will increase confidence for people to come back into the market. And then, remember, one of the things that a foreign exchange rate is unproductive money that's all over the place, which I call the corruption side of it. Because some of this exchange rate that is going up and everything, the dollars are not being purchased by those who are using it for productive purposes. It is being purchased and used for corruption purposes, which everybody is involved. So you can stop it. Today, you know, for various political activities, and people in government are now transacting in dollars. It is an open secret. So we are in difficulty. Some of this we have to start doing it differently. I'm not going to say, that's why I said I will not be dwelled in the process of yesterday. I'll be dwelled in the process of today. When I was in government as a state, we decided to have what we call subnational savings. And that was why in Anambra State, we were able to have, by the time I left, $150 million in savings. We said we're going to divide our savings into three. One should be in foreign currency. Since we trade in dollar, let's save in dollars. One should be in Naira. The other will be in investments, shares and stocks and bonds, and local bonds. And that's what we did. So I have $150 million in savings. You've read in God's book, I refer to it every day, where he said, I supported savings, because I know what the reserve would have been. If you ask Mr. Ganga, who was there, who actually was the architect of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, he would tell you that if there's a governor who gave him all the support, I was there. So, for me, the things we would have done differently, because we didn't do it in the past, we're suffering now, but we can start today to do it. If we had done the right things and be manage the rate more effectively, and then support all exportable items in order to earn revenue, stop the oil stealing, which the government have said they're stopping and everything. I said that I was a little bit disappointed that we caught a ship that had 8,000 with about 8,000. All we needed to do, 800,000, not 8,000, 800,000. And they said and that ship was supposed to be operating 800,000, and that ship was supposed to be operating for 12 years. For 12 years. Nobody cared to say, if that ship had been operating for 12 years, for 12 years, for 12 years, what has he been doing for 12 years? Where has he been for 12 years? It's very important. But rather, what we did is to say, destroy it. We don't need to destroy it. I would have seized it, ensure that they explain what they've been doing for 12 years. Nobody have told us what they've been doing for 12 years. They just said, it's been around there and doing similar operations for 12 years. These are issues. So if we get it right, I believe we can earn more dollars. I believe we'll stabilize the currency and everything, and that makes more meaning.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right. I think we'll take.
Can I? Okay.
Okay. Before you go on, I just wanted to take a quick quote from what our principal just said right now. He said, basically, you can float the naira. Basically, you can't float the naira when you have not made sufficient moves to take the country from consumption to production. I think that is, for me, a quote. I'm going to put it out right there on Twitter for Nigerians to understand. We are speaking economics here. All right, NCC, I think you can come right now with the quick interlude questions. Please go on.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is N6. I have more than a decade's experience in radio and media. And I want to ask you a question about a huge, intangible, but it's going to be a big problem that happened after this election. I don't know if you might understand this question, but please give me time. This election has destroyed whatever fabric of national unity we have. The politicians weaponized tribalism, they weaponized ethno-religious sentiments, and they really split Nigerians apart. The Yoruba and the Igbo, the North versus the South, and they've done this, they did it at national level, they did it at state level. When we sit and talk about Nigeria, we always focus on education, health, this, that, this, places that have verifiable data to tackle. But how do you datafy the unity of this country. So please, sir, I want to ask you, do you have a plan when you get into power? Because you surely will. There's no technicality that is going to stop that. When you get into power, sir, is there a plan to sew Nigerians back together again? Or do you think that in your grand scheme of tackling poverty and also alleviating the Nigerian, hopefully the Nigerian GDP and all these things, that the tribalism issue will die off with our prosperity? I always thought it would, but it's sad to see these things happen again. You saw our opponents going as far as Yoruba, Ronu, and things like that. Sir, my question is on national unity. We are highly fragmented at this point. What do you have in mind to get Nigeria back together as a country, loving each other, for us to be able to achieve all these things you have? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Let me be honest with you. I've been asked this question several times. And what I tell them is exactly what I'm going to tell you now. It's actually at times good that all these things are coming out. When in 2015, I campaigned across Nigeria, then with Jonathan, I saw this happen, where Northerners were like, we don't want to hear anything. We don't want to see you. We're not. So, and there were so many attractive proposals, campaign promises by Buhari then, and it was voted into office. 8 years after, I did not see, maybe there is, I'm just saying, any reduction in the poverty in the North. I did not see where the North was buying bread cheaper than the South. I did not see where food, like Ibrahim said now, was cheaper in the North than the South. There was no improvement. They were not more secured. There was nothing. They would say they celebrated for that, taking that ethnic stand. Today, we're seeing a similar situation in the Southwest, where people think it is our turn, we don't care, it's not this and everything, because the politicians use this as a tool for competition, especially when they're incompetent. So they hire tools of division, tools of ethnicity. And I've asked people, can they show me where they buy bread cheaper in Ibadan? Is cost of rice or food cheaper in Ibadan? Is cost of petroleum cheaper in Ibadan? Is there anywhere people in Ibadan are buying fuel today 300 naira and people in the east are paying 600? Is there anywhere they're buying bread 500 while people in the north are paying 1,000? Same thing is what happens with religion. Because people will say to you, oh, he's playing a religious card, he's doing this. Show me where the Muslims buy bread cheaper I can tell you, Christians will go there and worship with them and buy the bread and come out and continue what they're doing. Show me where Christians are buying bread cheaper. Muslims will come there and buy the bread and go back. I went to a secondary school, Christ the King College in Onitsha. And I wasn't just a student anybody would say, you don't know in Christ the King College. I even became the deputy discipline prefect. So everybody that went to that school will tell you knows Mr. Peter. We had students that were Muslims. We had students with other different Christian denominations. On Fridays, our Muslim students will go in Onitsha. They will go to mosque in Onitsha then. That's how I knew the mosque and where it was in Onitsha. They will go to mosque on Fridays. On Sundays, we will go to church. Those who are Catholics will go to Catholic. Those who are Anglicans will go to a neighboring school, DMDS, for their own, everybody. We didn't know what was religion. I went to University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Again, nobody who passed through Nsukka will tell you while I was there, he does not know Peter Obi. Then you're not in the part of that school. When I mean, not that everybody knows me, there might be people who don't know me, who don't even remember me, but if there's popular students in the school, I'm one of them. So we had a lot of Muslims. We had people from different Christian denominations. A lot of Muslims, Nobody thought about where you're coming from. We had people. My senior brother went to school in University of Maiduguri. We used to go to Enugu for him to enter train to go back to Maiduguri. This were not in 60s. This were late 70s, early 80s. So it's not even 60s. So all these things were just tools that recently were brought into this to show divide. And sewing it together, my brother, is as easy as ABC. Once you bring back what I normally say, character, capacity, competency back, and people can see that they are participating in this, they are part of it because they are qualified, they are this, all this will disappear. I live in Onitsha, I live in Lagos. I'm involved in some of these companies you're talking. Nobody knows where anybody's coming from. What we're looking for, when we're looking for directors, is people who are competent. Yes, there might be an argument of, okay, in order to balance it, we need one person from Southwest, from Southeast, from this, from that, which are already enshrined in our Constitution. Our Constitution already said federal character. We have to bring people from different areas, but we have to bring people who are competent. It's been shown in our football system. Just yesterday, all those who played for us in the 80s was remembered by APIS. All those of them, Odebami, Christian Chukwu, everybody, he brought all of them to Lagos, hosted them, gave each of them about 1.5 million naira each, told each of them they're going to be flying his plane for free. He wants them to be looked after and everything. He didn't say, I want people who play for Rangers. He wanted people who did this at National. When they met me in hotel, you'll be shocked. Overblow, all these people that we used to hear their name. That's what it used to be. You can bring it back with effortless ease. Today, there's a lot of intermarriage between the North, the East, the Southwest, the Southeast. It's going to the stage in Lagos, nobody even know the difference. Most of the marriages that I attended, I was in a funeral just on Thursday of somebody I can call a mother, fantastic woman, but it's a Yoruba woman. We live in the same block of flats where this woman is. I don't know how to describe her. She was just an extraordinary mother who every day will make sure that he comes in and say, Peter, you're not doing this. Peter, you did this or this. Everybody in the compound is fond of her. So these are things you can deal with easily. I've said when I was campaigning, Ibrahim can say that the North will celebrate me because I know the problem of the North. The West will do the same thing because I know the problem of the... Because today, nobody can tell me the problem of the North because I know the problem of the North. As a banker, we used to get all the cash we need from Kanu. Today, Kanu is dead. The industries in Pampire 1 is dead. Shadan 1 is dead. Shadan 2 is dead. We used to have cash from Medugri. It's all dead. I know the problems in the East. I know the problems in the West. And that's what we need to deal with. I took time to explain to you the things that brings us together. Sports. Today, there's no more sports in terms of what it used to be. At the time, nations are celebrating their huge leagues. All you hear Nigerians talking about is about Manchester, Man U, Chelsea, this. Where's our local league? Yes, people used to do that before to play even, what do you call it again? To all this lottery, what do you call it again? Pool. They do pool with it, but they were still following Rangers, all the other clubs like ICC, Mighty Jets, all those things were being followed everywhere. So these are things we must go back to. People who were playing in different places were not even from there. Their Twebus were playing for Mighty Jets in North, but their Twebus were from Anambra State. People were playing for Rangers, and they are from the North. You know, you had a Matsemeka who were from Port Harcourt. I don't care about playing for. So, these are where we must go back to. In terms of our entertainment, you can see it everywhere. The Nigerian youth don't know the difference between Davido and other stars in film, in everything. These are what we should encourage. And then throughout this, politicians bringing things that divide us or telling you, oh, Peter Obi is tribalistic, oh, Peter Obi. How? Where? I've governed the state. I've run corporations. I've supported this thing. I can tell you there's a company that is 100% owned by people from the Southwest that I chaired. I didn't even have one share in it, just one. And I was the chairman, and the company was doing well. So we can go back to it. We can sew it together very easily. There's competent people all over Nigeria. Just like all of you are scattered here, there's competent people all over Nigeria that we can work with and be able to show that it is a united country.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
God bless you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think how you went in on that. Thank you. All right, I'm bringing David. David has been falling off. I think, David, your enemies don't want you to speak today, but I am sure as David conquered Goliath, you have conquered them. So please, David, I want you to come in right now and show them that you are also a conqueror. Please, you have this space. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening, Saddam. So I'm just going to keep my question very brief. And I'm first of all, I'm going to give some background as to why I'm asking this question. Now, it's been well known that the fuel subsidy regime was unsustainable. It had to go. Preferably should have gone as far back as 2012, wasted an extra 10 years, etc., etc. Regardless of what happened on February 25, the fact is the fuel subsidy was never going to remain in place because the outgoing administration had already not made any budgetary provision for it. Now, that has been used as an argument to state that, well, you know, even if the results that were announced had gone differently, and even if Peter Obi had been announced as president and he had, you know, he was sworn into office on May 29th, that the economic carnage that we are witnessing would have been the same. That it wouldn't have made any difference who was president. Now, I beg to disagree. I believe that the way it was handled, the way the announcement was made in itself, and the way the initial first 2 or 3 weeks of the subsidy removal were handled were what directly led to this huge slowdown in economic activity that we are witnessing, and this extreme spiking of fuel prices. Now, so the question is, if Peter Obi was the one who was midwifing that transition from subsidy to no subsidy regime, what would Peter Obi have done different in such a way that the extremely negative effects that it has had on businesses, on people's ability to even travel to work, you know, all sorts of things like that? What difference would Peter Obi's handling of the situation have made?
David, first I will tell you, election took place on 25th of February. Result was announced when? About the 1st of March. Between the 1st of March and May 29th is a clear, call it about almost 90 days. Within these 90 days, I'm sorry to say it, I would have been able to have a respectable economic team that would have sat down with me. Even as I talk now, if you say Peter Obi is president tomorrow, I'll give it to you in 1 month. Respected Nigerians that can sit down and will say, this is where we're going to go. If we're going to remove subsidy, I said it again, look at my tweets. We're not going to pull it. It's like when you have multiple fractures. You're not going to deal with all of it immediately. It's something you need to remove it one after the other. I've said we'll remove the corruption side of it. So we know the actual subsidy we're paying. There's so many components in this subsidy that when you listen to, because I've listened to some experts make their comments, you remove that. Having removed that, you now decide on the component of subsidy, whether it's budgeted or not. If it's, for example, when you remove it, maybe what will remain will be 40% of what you're paying or 50%. You can now set from this day to this where we're going to remove this component. We've seen a former governor come in and said that somebody, David said, he's tired of making money this way, that he has made enough. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who said he's made enough money. Not even Warren Buffett also, who is involved in investing. So for somebody to say that, it shows you what is happening there. So I would have done all that. And I've said we would have also seen what is happening with the issue of the refineries, not the one of government. Modern refineries that people have set up here and there, which they are complaining that their problem is supply of crude and other things. So that there's a combination of simultaneous you need to do, quite a number of things that would have helped to manage this better and everything. There's a combination of things you would have discussed with people in all the stakeholders that would have made it better. It would still be painful. It's just like what I said before, that there's a difference between giving you some form of anesthesia before pulling out your tooth and just doing it without anything. There must be a thinking through. It's an economic decision. It's not going to be easy. If it's a return school to the original owners in Anambra State, there were issues with it. People were on strike. The schools were on strike for months. But before we returned it, we made sure that we went through all the beginning to the end to mitigate the problems. For example, saying that all teachers that are employed must be paid by government. They must be maintained by government. That the churches and this thing can no longer run the school. They don't have the resources. There's so many things we put in place that we will continue to do the capital projects. We will continue to do this. But they will take care of the administration and management, but we will support them. I can tell you, I don't know what has changed. At the time I was governor, no state in the north, no state in the east, no state in the west can compare their secondary schools or primary schools with ours. We were the only people where you have secondary schools that have computers, buses, this, everything. Go to those schools today. The infrastructures were rebuilt. We don't own them. Private schools in Anambra State were supplied computers. Private schools in this, so we thought it through. As a governor, I decided that every person, old person in Anambra or does not have any form of pension, the government will pay the person 5,000. You can go and verify what I'm telling you now. Across the whole state, 5,000 every month. I had security in each community employed and paid directly by government in each community. I bought each community vehicle, but this is we are taught to, so I knew it was going to be sustainable. People ask me then, where are you going to get money to do this? I say, look at our calculation. Look at what we are getting. Look at why we're going to do it. What I'm saying is that there are things you do, but you have to be taught through. Stakeholders have to be invited. Other people have to have their inputs. It's not just